is the Dublin Special Master.
Live and direct.
Breakfast with CubCamTV.
Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio, that one coming to us from Rio, produced by Movement. It goes by the name Make a Move, and we've got the wonderful Rio in the building with us this morning. How's your morning going in general?
It's going great, absolutely brilliant.
Lovely stuff. It's great to have you in, and obviously we've got a few things we're going to be getting into next. Now, we may have briefly discussed it off mic, but have you heard of Cub's Club Tombola? Have you heard of what this section of the show is?
Not until today. I'm very intrigued to find out what it is.
So the point of this section of the show essentially is to go through a random assortment of questions, and by doing those, we will find your perfect rave scenario. Are you a bit of a raver?
Oh yeah, love a rave. Love a rave.
Has to be done. I feel especially when you're kind of vocaling a lot of sort of garage and dance music, you kind of need to have that sort of rave experience to go alongside it.
Yeah, 100%. My mum was a raver back in the 90s, so I've been brought up with all the tunes. So yeah.
There we go. Perfect. Well, we're going to jump into this section next. For some reason, I cannot help but smile when people hear the jingle for the intro for this one. So we're going to get into it right about now. 17 minutes past 9 here on Breakfast with Cove. It's time to jump into Cub's Club Tombola. Keep it locked.
Roll up, it's time for Cub's Club Tombola.
Well, there we go. It's time to jump into this section of the show, Cub's Club Tombola, where we find out people's perfect rave environments. Are you ready to spin the first wheel?
Let's go.
We're ready to go. We're ready to go. So let's get this thing spinning. The point of this obviously is to decide your perfect rave scenario of 5 random questions that we've got on a wheel. And the first of those questions is, would you like the rave to be outside or inside?
Ooh, inside.
We're going inside. Okay, first one on the board done. So moving into the second question of the day. As the wheel continues to spin, I usually have to pad this bit out with a bit of random chatter to make sure we get the stuff rolling. How are you getting to the rave?
Car. Someone's got to be driving me to the rave and driving me back.
You've got to be driving to the rave.
If it's in the middle of nowhere.
Next one on this list then. This is where it starts to get interesting. We start finding the weird bits of where people are going to be. The next question on this list is, what is the post-rave takeaway?
Oh, damn. Something cheap, because I'm going to be broke from the night before. Probably an Uncle Sam's, to be honest.
Uncle Sam. I'm not mad at an Uncle Sam's, to be honest
burger and
with
chips.
There's something about Uncle Sam's as well when you actually get a proper good Uncle Sam's and you get it in the building.
Oh yeah, McDonald's doesn't really do it for me, to be honest. I'm going to need something a bit better. Nah, not so.
Right then, the genre of the rave. What sort of music are we going to be listening to in this rave?
90s house, 100%.
90s house, okay. Yeah. And then we've got one more to go. This is shaping up quite nicely, to be honest.
Yeah,
this is shaping up quite nicely. This is shaping up very nicely indeed. So moving on to the final question on this selection. One rider item. So one item on a rider that you get for going there.
Ooh. What, so I get a free item?
You get a free item. It can be a drink, it can be a type of food, it can be a bunch of glow sticks. It's entirely
Loads of glow sticks.
Loads of glow sticks.
Loads of glow sticks. One around the neck, the wrists, the ankles, everything.
Well, there we go. We found your perfect rave. Would you like to hear it back? Would you like to hear it back? Well, let's go. Let's get into this. So the perfect rave for Rio is getting driven in a car to a rave that is inside, playing purely 90s bass music. You arrive, you receive a bag of glow sticks of all shapes and sizes, to follow that up with an Uncle Sam's, but it has to be a cheap Uncle Sam's.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There we go, and that is your perfect rave environment. That's Club Tombola. Really, really cool. So we're going to get into a bit more conversation now then. Obviously, looking forward plans-wise for yourself, I'm assuming there's a few things in the bag and there's a few things that you're kind of working on musically, and there's a few things you're kind of keen to get into. What's sort of next for you? Like, what are you looking to do next?
So I'm still working on a few singles. I would like to get another video out as well.
Okay.
And obviously the jazzy lo-fi 5-track EP. Something a lot more chilled. I'm definitely focusing on a lot more poetry on this side of things. I'd done a lot of poetry growing up as a child, so the lyricism side of it, it's not really going to be upbeat and in your face and catchy choruses and loads of structure. It is more going to be me pouring my heart out onto a few chilled out tunes, music you can chill out to, and yeah.
Awesome. I mean, it's so good to have that, I suppose, kind of variation within what you do. I definitely feel that's something you're nailing very early on, because again, realistically, you're still very early on in this journey, this music journey, and it's great to see the kind of the composure you're bringing to it and the kind of depth of thought you're bringing to it as well, being able to transfer yourself across all these different sounds and genres. You've spoken again about music videos. How involved do you get with the sort of creative process behind videos? Like, are you very much on the ground kind of going, we want this and that?
I think with my first video, because it was my first ever one, I was kind of like, look, let's just see how it goes. Just go with it and have fun with it, really. So when we filmed that video, it was like a day out. We're kind of just filming ourselves, having a good time, vibing in London on a nice sunny day. But I think the more involved I get with the creative side of things, I can put my ideas across a lot more and have a bit more of a structure, I think, with my next few videos.
Awesome. Well, it's great to hear you talk through it, and obviously it's great to have you in. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's been great to have you in the building. We are going to move into the next section of the show now, but just before we do, where can people find you on socials to kind of stay up to date with everything you're doing music-wise?
Yes, find me on Instagram. It's at Rio Whatman, so the word What and Man together. You can find me on YouTube under Rio, SoundCloud, Spotify. Rio, 3 letters.
There we go. It's an easy one to find.
Yeah,
I've got to be saying. Well, there we go. Keep it locked, people. Just gone 22 minutes past 9 here on Trickstar Radio. We're going to be jumping into the Pull Up 30 in just a few minutes. As always, remember, you can check out all of the interviews we do on the show via the Trickstar Radio app, and of course the Trickstar Radio SoundCloud, and of course the Breakfast with KXVU podcast, which is available via Spotify and Apple Music. Moving into this one from the one and only Drizzy. Let's go.
This is Breakfast with KXVU, bringing you their morning flavours on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.